Hi, friends. Welcome into another episode. So, the conversation today that you will get to be a part of is all about the emotions that we go through in month three of the 90-day detox. Now, you might be asking, why are we highlighting this? Well, friends, if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. But we love talking about the emotions and how we anchor into our essential oils. And when you're doing any kind of detox, especially the 90-day detox, there's phases of our emotions that we will walk through. So today's episode is all about the third month of the 90-day reset. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Essential Oils Scoop podcast. We're here to help you confidently using essential oils in your daily life. No fluff, just real talk and practical tips. Each episode brings you education, inspiration, and of course, our scoop of the day. Let's elevate your wellness one drop at a time. Before we press record, Sarah and I always have awesome conversations, and we had very different experiences when we walked through the 90-day reset for phase three, month three. And so I would love for Sarah to share some of her insights. I'll share mine. And we have a couple oils that we would love to encourage you to lean into. But of course, as always, we want you to lean into the oils that resonate with you and what you're going through because we're all different.
Yeah. And I mean, I have to tell you, in full honesty, my life was very crazy in the month and that third month. Some of you, if you're longtime listeners, you know I had a really crazy April. Okay, you know that my April was absolutely super insane. And if you know me personally, you know it was really crazy.
It
My
was
husband
bonkers.
had my husband had some health issues at the very beginning of the month that were like abnormal, so out of like, and scary, super abnormal. Like we actually questioned if he would live at one point. So there was some really scary stuff happening. Within 10 days of that, my middle daughter graduated from college, and we had to make a road trip out there to go pick her up and get all of her stuff and move her back home. And then 10 days after that, and I'm not even kidding about the timeline, 10 days, literally 10 days later, we were signing on a dotted line and moving to Kentucky that week. So like there's like, if you know, like and then on the 30th of April, the last day of April, we signed on another dotted line to buy my husband's company, to buy out my husband's company that he worked for, to buy it out. So we are currently the owners of this company. So you want to talk about like crazy. That was my crazy. So when I'm doing this last 30 days, I was explaining to Vicky, like, I don't know exactly what were because of my life going on emotions versus like, is this like, if I'm just living day to day. But I had like major major life changes, stressors that came into play in that 30 days, like major life stressors, things that like, people would do, spread out throughout the year. I had all happening within 30 days. So in that 30 days, it's very difficult for me to sit there and separate what was the emotions that I was going through with the detox versus I was in fight or flight, survival, fight, flight, or freeze. And I think I was freezing most of the time in a survival mode. That has taken me 6 weeks to get out of, 6 to 8 weeks. It finally, I told Vicky a couple weeks ago, um, yeah, I think I'm finally coming through this. I think I'm fine. The fog is starting to lift. I'm starting to finally feel my bearings. I can find function again. And like, this was a really difficult time for me. So if you know me personally, it was absolutely insane. If you don't know me personally, well, you just got a crash course and crazy. Welcome in. But I think one of the emotions that I think that this it's the renew phase. And so you're trying to build on your habits of what you've created in those first two phases of the prepare and the cleanse, right? and you're trying to build on these phases, and you're using your DDR prime more consistently, you're using your PB restore more consistently, you have brought in the meta power advantage, right? And so you're bringing in a few new things, you're adding in, and this is where you're starting to kind of, I would say, kind of like building back up, because you cleansed hardcore the month before. And so you're kind of building up some of those systems and those habits again for those systems. Um, because you did do GX assist the month before. And so that, like, you need the PB restore to like fix everything, right? So anyway, that's kind of like, I think what I really noticed the most was just that more stagnant energy was very evident for me. Like I was feeling, even though life was hitting me like a tidal wave every 10 days, I feel like I was getting hit with a tidal wave. Um, I I would say I also felt really stagnant, like I couldn't move forward. Like I was stuck. I was feeling very stuck, even though it was like I moved and
Like
I
the
did.
visceral feeling of that.
Yeah, yeah. I was feeling stuck, but like, have you ever stood in the ocean and like waves just like smacked you, even though you're standing still and it still knocks you on your butt? That's what it was doing to me.
Yeah.
I was standing still. I was stuck. I was not moving, but it was like life hitting me and making me move, if that makes any sense. Like I don't know how else to give you a
Hmm.
visual of like, but if you've ever stood in some really big waves and it just slaps you and you fall flat on your butt and you get tumbled around a little bit, that's what it was every 10 days for me. But I was still feeling stuck, like I couldn't move. I couldn't move forward. I was freezing, right? Like that was my, I think I was in freeze mode of fight or flight or freeze. I think I was definitely in my sympathetic nervous system, and I never got into that parasympathetic of the rest and digest, right? Like, so you want to get into your the whole purpose of like, part of the problem of our world today is we don't get into parasympathetic enough. We are stuck in sympathetic all the time, which is that fight, flight, or freeze. That's why we have so many gut health issues, because we don't get into that parasympathetic where we are resting and digesting, right? Like if you talk to people, I will wager to say that 85% of the population either suffers from rest issues or digestive issues. And that 85%, the reason why they're
I
not getting
agree
there,
100%.
yeah. And they're not getting there because they're stuck in this fight, flight, or freeze. And so I was stuck in that. And I was stuck in there, I would probably say a good almost 2 months. I was stuck and feeling just wave after wave whipping at me. And I shut down. And I can tell you I shut down in here because you know what I do when I shut down? I play phone games when I shut down. And I built a whole freaking Sim City during that shutdown because that is all I could do. I could keep Sims alive, and that was about it, right? Like I could keep my farm going. like, like that's my shutdown, and that's how I knew it was really bad when I had to like go, okay, this is bad. I need to like, I was functioning, air quotes, functioning, but barely.
Yeah,
And it was
you
not
were
a question.
doing the minimum, right? You were waking up, you were eating, you were getting dressed, you were doing those things, but because you were stuck, what you were capable of creating was a Sim City. And there is absolutely no judgment here. And friends, everything that Sarah is mentioning, she's mentioning because she knows she's not alone in this. This life is going to life. And thank Jesus, Sarah was already on a path of this detox, cleanse, restoration. Like the grand and wonderful purpose of the renew, the 90-day reset is to meet your root needs in your body, right? It's the purpose driven structured program for 90 days to allow your body to prioritize and get what it needs on a cellular level to prepare, to cleanse, and then to renew. And then the idea is that your body is now given the tools it needs and has been ridden of the things that doesn't serve it. So you can have a sustainable foundation for wellness to continue. Like it's not over just because the 90 days are over. It's not over just because you can check a box. That's not how it works. And that's not why this 90-day reset was created. It's created to give us the foundational, the root of what we need over and over again. Sarah and I have already said this in previous podcasts. We're not done with this reset because we've done it once. We're choosing into it multiple times a year because we know our bodies need it and it thrives with each and every phase. And when we talk about emotions here, I wanted to talk about, the stability, feeling stable, or on the flip side of it, my brain goes to, well, what happens next? Like, what can I do to make sure I'm still supporting my body with the building blocks I've built up in the last 90 days? Because I'm one to check a box and then be done and then possibly go back to some old habits that don't serve me well. That's just I'm being brutally honest here. I'm human, definitely not perfect. But what I've noticed is that now I've walked through this twice. The first time I was straight and narrow. I did everything every single day. I might have missed 1 or 2 days, but I was very diligent. The second time life happened and it was more of like a 80-20. So starting this again, I already know from the data I had from the first reset I did to the second reset. So phase three, I've gone through twice now. I can already tell you that because I've already done the 90-day detox reset twice, I'm already at a better place. Like some of my daily habits, because I put in the time over time, my habits are already better than they were before I ever introduced this 90-day detox. And Sarah's shaking her head. Like, get on YouTube, friends, if you want to see us talking about this. Sarah, like, would you agree? Like, regardless, you have won. Like,
Oh,
you
oh,
are getting these beautiful nuggets. And I would love for you to talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
no, for sure. Like, I think, well, first of all, I'm doing it all over again starting July 1st. So that's gonna be my July 1st. I mean, if anybody wants to join me, we can like collaborate or whatever. Like I'm happy to, have anybody who wants to join me. We've got a Facebook group and we can do that and we can put that in here. If you would like to join, I'm redoing it again for 90 days because I need to. First of all, I told you my life was kind of crazy, right? During that last month. Um, Therefore, I kind of got some habits. I mean, some habits have really been really good, like Vicky was saying. Some habits I just kept it going, and other habits kind of sloughed off. And I was a zombie. I'm gonna be so brutally honest with you. Like my life was a little chaotic for a little bit, and I'm finally feeling like, okay, I can life again. I can jump back in. I'm ready to get into those waves. This time I'm going to make sure my knees are a little bit more bent so I'm not like so rigid, right? Like that I can like handle some knocks of life again. But at the same time, yeah, like if you I've also been on like a personal weight loss journey and a hormone balancing journey for over the last year. And so like I'm so ready to jump into another 90 days because my body is not the same as it was 90 days ago or even 180 days ago. My body is totally different from where it was. And I feel the need compelling me to do this again because here's the thing. Here's the real truth. 90 days is a great way to get you started, but if you've been neglectful in your with your body. If you haven't made health your priority and all of a sudden in 90 days you think it's going to fix, let me just tell you,
Everything you've done. Nope.
yeah. I mean, we're talking, you've I don't want to say abuse, but you've kind of abused your body for years. and you're going to expect it to change in 90 days. It's not a magic pill that's going to be like 90 days and you're totally changed. No, there's a lot of work. Like my body has changed a lot in 90 days. It's also changed a lot in 180 days. Like the body has changed. It's gone through some things. I've I've released 53 pounds at this point in my life in the last 6 months. And that, so my body looks different. My body feels different. It's time to give this new version the best. And it's time for me to step up and do this all over again. So yeah, July 1st, I'm starting it all over again. And I'm excited to start it all over again because I'm excited to see what changes and what's going to bring about the next thing. Because when you are shedding, did you know this, that your fat cells start to they start to mold around some of the toxins in our body? And so it can, because it wants to protect your organs, right? So if you're detoxing, you're going to have emotions that are going to come up because they were stuck in those layers of fat cells. You're going to have things come up, things that I need to work on, things that are going to pop up again. I am going to go through it all over again because I know in order to be the best version of myself, this is what's going to fix it. This is what's going to not fix it. This is what's going to help me and support me long term in getting to those real goals that I really want, the things I really want to hit in life. And so, yeah, I think self-control, Vicky was talking about self-control a little bit, and she was talking about a little bit like before we got onto this topic and before we got onto the recording, and I really want you to talk about this, Vicky, the self-control when it comes to food. And you know what? Oh, can we not all like, can some of us agree that like that's really hard? That's really hard. If you, especially, and I don't know how many of you are emotionally, if you are an emotional eater, so I am an emotional not eater. Okay. When I'm like going through it, I don't eat. I literally stop eating, and that's bad. Okay. Because you still need food, you still need to fuel yourself. But I am like the opposite when it comes to that. I don't eat when I'm emotional. So that's bad. Because some people will be like, whoa, that's great. You lose a lot of weight. Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I went through my divorce at a young age, I lost 90 pounds. Not great. Okay. When your doctor looks at you and says you need to gain weight because you're unhealthy, that's actually not good. And so an emotional thing that I went through was, oh, it must be good to be fat and happy because I was miserable and skinny, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this dichotomy that I have to work through. And so I'm the opposite, but I want Vicky to talk about that because emotional eating, it's it is a thing. It is a thing that people really struggle with. I'm getting really emotional, huh? People struggle with that. And
Mhm.
it's so hard to break that because guess what? Food is everywhere. It's everywhere. And even though I have the opposite struggle of like, I need to remember to eat, like, it's a problem on both sides of the coin. And like, we are all in this together. And I just feel like, oh, I'm so emotional. Um, it's hard. It is hard to break some of those habits of things that we've gotten into. And like, I know it's been difficult for you.
Yeah, it's so I love you, friend, and I love you so much. Yes, self-control, and I was highlighting this before we press record because self-control is something that I've struggled with my entire life as far as I can remember. And so for me, food was safety. Food gave me comfort in the chaos of my life. And I think a lot of women and a lot of men, I mean, as far as our analytics go for our podcast, there's more women that tune in to men. So I'm speaking because I am a woman. I've never been a man. And so for me, the self-control, the reason why Sarah's wanting me to highlight this is because in phase 3, when I was talking to her candidly, it was like, okay, well, I checked the box, 90 days is done, and then what? Where is, am I going to continue on the path of knowing what is right for me, knowing what's right for my body, or do I slip into, Or am I going to slip into these habits that I have created since I was a child? And that is something that I will forever be working on. I don't think we're ever done. It's not a box you check off and be like, oh, I went through that emotion. I went through that thing. Okay, we're done. We worked on it already. No, sorry, friend. We're always a work in progress. So the idea of self-control, do we have it? Will I hold it? Did the 90 days teach me that it is possible? Again, 5 minutes ago when I was talking about how I've walked through the 90-day reset twice now. I have walked away with beautiful tools that I've been able to continue on. And one of those is the self control around food. My self control has greatly increased. Am I perfect? Oh, absolutely not. But I can see with a bird's eye view of my life in the last 6 months, I have made more healthy, empowering choices than not. If I were to tally every single one, there'd be more tally marks in the ways that I've loved on my body, loved myself enough to have the self control when it comes to eating versus not. That is a big win. That is a huge win,
Huge.
especially when food noise is also a struggle for you. Not everyone has it. I was just recording something for another portion of my life that you guys will get privy to down the road. But the conversation was around food noise. This one woman does not have food noise. And I'm like, how do you not have food noise? Like, that blows my mind that not everybody has it because that has been a part of who I am. But because of doTERRA and because of becoming an emotions coach, like everything encompassing this podcast that Sarah and I have created for you, life has been able to be so much easierly, is that a word? It's going to be today, navigated. So self-control, that is an emotion that people will have. For me, when it comes to the 90-day reset, the third month, I am so happy I've had these tools. I'm so happy for the awareness around it. I want to ask a couple of the look deeper questions to you. And I don't need your answer. This is for you to do this work. We can't force you. But I love these questions when it comes to the emotion of self-control. First question is, which of my behaviors feel out of control? I'll tell you right now, I probably ask myself this question 4 times a week for different reasons. Because when I can identify the behavior that is out of control, I'm able to backtrack and figure out what the trigger was. What is it? And then I do the work. Am I running from buried emotional pain? Friends, I love you enough to be honest. The answer is almost always yes. Sarah, do you have any words to say about that?
Well, I was thinking about like how I deal with my stress when you were asking those questions. Like, what do I deal with? Like, how do I feel like, and this comes back to, and I know some of you know this because you've been listening to us for a really long time. My parents were hoarders, okay? And had those tendencies. And I'm like, you know what? What I'm bad about doing is, we all joke about retail therapy. Now, I'm not like a crazy spender, like by any means, but I will say I feel better if I go buy something. And so instead of like, I'm not an emotional eater, but I'm probably on that emotional buyer side, right? Like, so we all have these like triggers of like what are maybe out of control in our lives. Now, again, I am not a big spender. Like, I'm really happy just, if I just even just go to the Dollar Tree and buy something for $1.50 or whatever it is, and I'm okay. Like, that will satisfy that. But for other people, who may have those same like dealing with those things, that might not be as a satisfactory thing. They might be a Neiman Marcus shopper where they have to like buy really expensive things and like blow a budget and like get into other debt and things like that. That's not me. But when Vicky was asking, what's out of control? I'm like, well, I can't maybe, um, I don't really have the eating thing, but I can definitely have the shopping thing. And I can definitely feel out of
Mhm.
control. And when I said I built a whole Sim City because I couldn't control my life, but I could control what was happening in that game at that moment, right? And that's why I think I
Mhm.
escaped and why I had some escapism happening because I needed to control something because life wasn't feeling like I could control it. And so I love these look deeper questions because it makes me think about my own situation. I don't know why I'm so emotional about this, but like it makes me think about my own situation and where I am out of control and what do I need to rein back in and what do I need to do. And it's not, these questions are not there to make you feel guilty or make you feel bad about your life choices. They are there for you to go, aha, I'm I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me, but there are some things I want to change and there's some growth, areas of growth in my life. And I think that is the beauty
Mhm.
of the look deeper questions. I think that's the beauty of the essential emotions book that can bring these things to light. I think that's the beauty of essential oils into our lives. Like if I'm going to wrap it up with a pretty bow, my scoop of the day is I want you to look at these questions and I want you to apply them not to feel guilt, but to look at your life and go, where can I get better? And how can I improve? And that, my friends, is the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yes. Yes. And I'm going to run down for self-control. There's another question here. And maybe I'll copy and paste these questions into the description because really these are so powerful. And the emotion of self-control is way deeper than month 3 of the detox, but it pairs so perfectly. So the last question, the look deeper question is, what will it take for me to interrupt this pattern and realign my actions with my values? Yeah, I can't answer that for you, but you can. So the essential oils that you can lean into, you have a plethora. Arex, cardamom, Northern Escape, Niuli, Metapower, Abode, Align, and Time. Abode is the essential oil of accountability. Guess what I've been diffusing like you wouldn't believe? Abode. Also, Arex. What have I been using more often than normal? Arex is the essential oil of discerning. Align is the essential oil of centering. I know why, Sarah, right now in life, why this is hitting the feels for you. But I'm excited. I'm excited for all of us to do the look deeper questions and anchor into these beautiful tools that we call essential oils to help us do this heavy lifting. Because again, we're not meant to do it alone. It doesn't have to feel hard all of the time. But you have to be comfortable enough to become uncomfortable to find out where that truth lies. These look deeper questions can help you navigate to them. We encourage you to do it. That is my scoop. We love you so damn much. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our Essential Oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.